So this is Vlogmas. Hello and welcome back to my channel. I am Cheryl Lindsay and I'm doing another Vlogmas video, and this one is actually going to be a prepping for the new year and a plan with me video. I'm actually going to be setting up my new 2020 calendar planner. This is my work planner. I'm a pastor and I use a Hobonichi Weeks as my planner for everything church related. I have a whole system, and I have a separate video that shows you my 2020 lineup, including what my hub is going to be. I have not set that one up yet. I will probably do that next week, and I will probably show that to you. But I'm going to set up the Hobonichi because I can actually start fully using this now. And I actually could have started December 1st, but I hadn't had an opportunity to set it up. So I'm going to move it into this setup, cover arrangement, take out the pens, and take out everything that I have in here. This is my 2019. Let me take some of these things out. Just when I set up a planner, when I change my setup over from one year to the next, I not only remove everything, I not only do the new planner, but I take out what I have in there as an opportunity to see what can be purged. What would work better? What things do I have in here that I never even look at? So you can see I've got a lot of stuff in there. So this is my cover, which I got from an Etsy shop, and it's black vegan, and I added this piece of scrapbook paper in here just to add a little interest to it. I may change that out, but not right now. So the only thing I've done in here so far, I did a little experiment with some acrylic paint and painted this back. This is the way this looks. And it just says Hobo, and it's like this gold on this cream. And I really, it doesn't do anything for me. So in the past I've covered with stickers. I've thought about just covering the whole thing with washi tape. I decided to try this out. I actually kind of like it, but I'm not sure that I'm gonna do this. I might just do washi tape on this side. I might, let me see, what does this washi look like? It covers. No, thank you. All right, so I still have to think about that. I'm not gonna worry about that because that's not really key to my setup. So I just slide it in here. I still will keep my business cards in this top section. In this bottom section, there are these 3 card holders section. Business cards I received from other people. And here I just, for convenience sake, I keep a hotel key card. Helps to cut off washi, that kind of thing. And these are actually samples when they painted my office. If you've seen my other videos and you've seen the background, my office has this wonderful blue color. And if you wonder where I came up with that color, not only do I just like it, it matches some of the stained glass in my office. So, I will for now, well, I'm not gonna do that right now. So in terms of setting this up, what I need as a tool is a calendar and this is the United Church of Christ desk calendar and plan book. Every church receives one of these, and you can purchase them as well. But what's nice about it is it has, obviously no, it has all the dates of the Christian calendar. That's not in the Hobonichi. So the first thing I'm going to do is go through and note on the monthly calendar, and I'm gonna go ahead and just starting with December, note like the major days on the Christian calendar. I'm not gonna go through and do that for the entire 13 months that contained in this calendar. It's actually more than that because it gives you 3 months beyond that, but I don't use all of those extra months for pre-planning purposes. But I'll just show you what I tend to do. I don't have one of my highlighters with, I don't have my gray highlighter. I tend to use my gray highlighter with this, but that's okay. So the one drawback for me is I like a Sunday start. This has the weekends together, but I'm used to it. So this is Christmas on December 25th. My congregation, we have a service. It's based on lessons and carols, for those of you who are familiar with it, but I call it Word and Song because I've added my own sort of spin to it. But it's essentially, at its essence, it's like a word. It is lessons and carols. Actually, this year we are using the exact same scripture passages that are traditionally used in a lesson and carol service. So on the monthly page, what I keep on here, let me just show you. I use my monthlies for pre-planning. So let me show you. I keep giving, okay, so here's an example, September. I have goals. I have key dates. I have worship series that we're running, and any sort of other information. On occasion, I'll put some stickers down as well. But I don't know that I'm not going to put stickers on right now. So currently, for December, the worship series is Enthroned in Light. And that's the series for all of the Sundays in Advent. The Sunday after Advent, our church shares worship with the Methodist church across the street that we fellowship with all the time. And so and this year it's at the Methodist church. So I'm not going to put a theme there because that's a sort of a special service that's outside, and I'm not doing the primary worship planning for it. So because I'm sort of back filling this, I'm not putting in all the dates, but, well, why don't I just go ahead and do that? So I put in meetings. And actually, I normally don't use this pen because it writes fairly thickly. I tend to use this one. I do put in major events that are here. I have, let's see. What else? I had a celebration of life. Funeral service was here. I have premarital counseling. So one of the things about this, because I have a hub that really is how I plan my days, this is really for me to keep a record. So if I need to go back and say, hey, what happened, or when did such and such a thing happen? I can go here. And that's helpful. The church school presentation is here. So anything I want to remind myself of. goals here. I'm not going to transport them, but I will do, I'm not going to transport all of those from this current month I'm in, but that's the process. And I would just go through and put those things in here. I do also, let's see, do I have those stickers on me? I put the stickers away, but I do use the stickers primarily. These stickers, no, I don't have the stickers that I use for this. I have some stickers that I use to mark down paydays and things of that nature. So there's the monthly. There's also the month, all the months, really every day of the year on this 2-page spread. This is where I will look at vacation and conferences. So I typically, in January, I can't believe it. I'm not even sure if I'm going to go. Oh, wow. It would be right here. And it's Epiphany. And I don't actually think I want to go because of that timing. So I normally would go to a conference in January, but I don't think I will. I might just take some vacation and go out of town at some point in January. Let's see, when does Lent start? Ash Wednesday is the end of February. So yes, at some point, some winter vacation. But yeah, so I'll go through and I'll figure those kinds of things out when I want to take vacation. I know I always take, there's a conference that it's like the first, begins the Monday after the first Sunday in June. And normally my birthday is included in that because my birthday is June 4th, but it's not because of the way this timing goes. So, but I'm going to write it down here because I do need to figure out, assuming that I'm going to go to it, that when it would be. So is this set in stone? It is not set in stone, but it gives me a bird's eye view of what's happening. Big things. I do need to put it's Pentecost. Pentecost is here. Okay. Great. So that's what I do on this. This portion up here, you know, I don't really have a purpose for it right now. So, but let's go to where we really get into our how this really works for me. And I'm going to do, since I'm transitioning, I'm going to do next week in this. And I'm going to show you how I plan out the week. For real. Okay. So this is not my highlighter, but that might work. Okay. For the week. So the first thing I'm going to do, and I'm going to grab my straight edge that I'm using today to create some boundaries on the page here that so things can stand out a little bit more. It's not necessary, just visually. I like to do some separations. I am also adding to this, one of the only thing that I didn't really keep in this book over the last 6 months, almost 7 months now, that actually, yeah, almost 7 months. So I had a separate place for prayer concerns, and joys and concerns. So we, during our worship service, we lift up specific prayer concerns. Like right before I do the pastoral prayer, I ask if people have joys or concerns to share, and they do. And I write them down. I've been doing that in a separate notebook. I'm actually going to do that in here so that it'll all be in this space. And then a weekly prayer call on Wednesday morning, the same thing. So I have to figure out where exactly I'm going to put that. There are certain things I know that I'm going to keep. And let's just do like so. Okay. All right. So one of the things that I do, because this again is not, I'm not using this as my calendar or my primary planner even. This is really more record so that I can have all this information in one place. Is I tend not to keep a long to-do list in here, but I do keep some things in here. And this space right here is just enough for that. This washi tape that I think I got from Jet Pens. And this just big highlights for the week, like things I want to get done on these specific days in particular. These tend to be what I consider my office working days, even though some of them, like Wednesday, typically I work from home. If I don't work from home on Wednesday, I will on Tuesday. I will keep on this side specific appointments. So for instance, here I have we have a Bible study again with the Methodist Church across the street, but we're hosting it. So that's just one example. I have a Kiwanis meeting. And this is just off the top of my head, but I'll record that here, and then things that I need to do these are not necessarily routine things, but these are things I really want to get done. So I want to do some planning for Epiphany, some advanced planning. This is my first year in this pastorate, and so where I would like to be much further ahead in planning, like not planning the next series while I'm in the current series, but planning, months and months ahead, maybe even planning a whole year or half a year at one time. I'm not there. So, but I do need to plan for the Epiphany series and get a theme for Lent. Those two things I think are key. I also need to remind people about Christmas Eve and invite the community to the service. It's in a small town, so people pretty much, it's a tradition, people pretty much know, but I don't want to take anything for granted. This first section up here, Monday is my day off, and so it's my day of rest. I tend to write a prayer here for the week that I will post to social media at some point. Sometimes I forget to do that, or I don't get around to doing it, but that's a goal, and so that's why I leave that space here for. Fridays, I tend not to come in the office, but what I do need is a pastor's note for our newsletter. Our email is emailed weekly, and I write a note in it each week. And so I do want to record what the topic is, or what points I'm going to make in there and what I need to include. Sometimes it's inspirational, sometimes it's a reminder of what's going on in the life of the church. It just sort of depends on the week. So I was using this whole space for that, and now I've decided I don't really need this because I don't tend to have appointments on Fridays. Very rare. So I can use that space for that. And that will give me more space here for joys and concerns on Sunday. This space here is for reflection, a weekly, just reflecting on the week. Just go ahead and put prayer here. Joys, concerns, and then also joys, concerns. And I think I still should have some room. I like to have some room for notes. I think that'll be ample space for joys and concerns on Sunday and here on Wednesday. And that, again, notes. And that's weekly setup. The only other section is in the back. They give you, and this is a Mega Weeks. So you get, and the reason it's called Mega Weeks is because you get these note pages, just blank dot-grid note pages. And so every meeting, all of that, counseling sessions, like premarital, not, or planning memorial services, funerals, those kinds of things. Others sort of more in-depth would go another place, but here's where I put that. All right, I'm sorry about that. Someone was at my door. So this is, again, just really quickly, how this spread looks like, turns out when I'm done with it. So I have space to record pretty much everything I need. I really am actually liking this setup. The one thing I have to remember is when I use these pens that are almost like markers, they will smear if I don't let them dry. This paper is really thin, which is why you can have so much. You can have an entire year of weeks, 2-page spread for every week, and I don't know, 80, 100 pages of notes, something like that, in a relatively thin notebook. The way that I use the pen loops, they're pretty generous, so I can slide a pen in, and then I can also tuck additional pens in this way. If you're wondering about the colors, this is the one, this is like my workhorse right here. This is the one that when I start writing, I will write in this one. It writes, as you can see, pretty thin. My handwriting tends to be larger, but if I want to write really small, because this pen is very fine point, I can do that. This one, as you can see, I'm using in terms of big headers, if you will, and sectioning things off. I tend to keep the pen that corresponds with the season of the liturgical year. So currently we're in Advent, which is purple or royal blue. So I have purple pen in here. And I like to either have a highlighter or a red or something that would really stand out if I need something to stand out. I don't know where my highlighter, I think it's falling into some bag and I just can't put my hands on. It's a gray highlighter. It's a little bit lighter than this, but this will do in terms of helping to carve out some space. So simple setup, and but so fruitful to be able, because it's so easy to carry this just anywhere. To have this with me in worship or in coffee hour after service, to take into meetings, and it's light It's very portable. I can slip this into my purse if I don't want to carry a full briefcase, and maybe I'm just going to a community event, or I'm going to the church for an event but not planning to be in the office. I can still have everything I need right here. Obviously, I do use more than this to keep information and things that I need regarding the church, but in terms of keeping a record, keeping track of things, I don't really need much more than that. So the other thing in terms of setting up, and as much as I like this spread, and one thing, you get a couple of bookmarks. So I keep one on the current week, and one tends to be, where is it? In my note section, so I can quickly go there. I'll just put that there for now. But in terms of setup, in every planner, every notebook I have, I keep some sticky notes, and so this will be no different. These are a variety of sticky notes that I have that are from, this one is from Inkwell Press. These are from Midori, I think. Not sure. Oh, okay. Like, they're not sticking upside down. So you end up in this particular, and in all the Hobonichis really, you end up with these pages that are in Japanese. So I will often cover them, put my sticky notes in them. So I don't feel like I'm wasting space. Yes. And I'll put that one there. The other thing, see, these really are not all that sticky. So what I might just do is tuck them back here. The other thing I have done is I've created dashboards. So I have this dashboard that I created, and I have another one in here. Where is it? Yeah, here we go. The other, and I also have these. I wonder if I can get them to come off. I don't know. And I have a lot of things that I use to keep my place in addition to those. This is a straight edge ruler that I could have used. Okay, but that's all right. So, but what I tend to do is keep this on the month and this page. Now, there's the only difference of it's on the same page, so it's not a big deal. There. Okay. This, and these are also can be considered somewhat like writing boards, like pencil boards, but I don't really use them that way. But I will keep one on date and one in the note section. I think I have that opposite. But it doesn't actually, no, it doesn't really matter. But I just want to show you that because that's another way to have a bookmark. Hobonichi gives you these so that you can have a pocket. I'm going to wait until I figure out what I'm going to do with this until I adhere that. So for now, I will just keep that there. I have a whole bunch of stuff that I will go through and see if I want to keep in here, but I'm going to do that off camera. If you have any questions about my setup, please let me know. That's kind of sticking out and it's bothering me. So I'm going to put these, which I don't anticipate using a great deal, but I just find it, I think it's helpful to have sticky notes in a planner. Is there anything else that I need to, right here. Again, this is a stencil from Hobonichi, if I'm not mistaken, that I often use just as a straight edge. I think that's everything that I need to keep transfer from my 2019. And again, once I have this in there, that pocket in there, I will put in there. For now, I'll just stick it right there. So this is primarily set up. Again, it's a simple setup, but it's highly, highly functional. So if you have any thoughts or questions or suggestions, even things that I can do to make this even more functional or useful, please feel free to share them. I'd love to hear from you. Now, in terms of collections, before I was about to end this, I do have this notebook from also from Hobonichi, and I'm not going to show you the front because the front has my business card with all my contact information on it, and I can just slide that in there. So things, reference information, you know, websites or contact information for suppliers or any sort of thing, anything I need to go back to. I don't want to have to transfer that year after year after year. So I just keep it in this book of collections, and just as I go, fill that in. So that's helpful. I was keeping some because I had so much extra space because I didn't start until June 1st. I had a lot of extra room for that. And so I had some collections that I had in here, but I'm not going to transfer them into this book because I don't want to use the note section for collections, because that's why I bought this notebook. It's just I had so much space in there, and that allowed me to see what I really felt like I would need to actually transfer after being here for a little while. So hope this was helpful, fun. I enjoy playing with me. I know it can be a little chatty, and there's some moments that are more interesting than others, but I hope that you've enjoyed spending a little bit of time with me in setting up this planner. And if you're interested, I can show you a little bit from time to time of how this is really shaping up. Of course, knowing that I wouldn't be able to share any sort of confidential information. All right, so until the next time we are together, I just pray that God's blessings would rain upon you abundantly and exceedingly, and that you will allow the light of Christ to shine through you during this Advent season as well as throughout the year. Till the next time, be blessed.